Howdy folks, Rob, MaximumRD, back again. Finally, it's been far too long, but I have something to show you here. You can consider this another entry in my Tales from the Recycle Bin series. I guess we'll call it that. I found this. Yes, it's pretty sad looking. Let's take a closer look. I opened the recycle bin lid and I saw this tower sitting there, and then I lifted it up, took it out, and thought I found another tower sitting there. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I thought it was facing up at me, but when I went to lift this, what I thought was the second tower, I realized that it was nothing more than the front of this case, which had been removed for whatever reasons. Now, as you can see, obviously it's been through a lot, even though it was just recently put in the recycle bin. And I don't know, I have no idea, I don't know the history or the reason why it was in the shape that it was in. But you could clearly see that someone had purposely damaged the machine. Now, I don't know, it's maybe because the failure caused the person to rage on it and just, they're very, let's say, maybe prone to anger, in need of anger management or something. I don't know. Or it's also possible that their thinking was, I'm throwing out this machine, I'm going to destroy it, just so, nobody else decides to take it and use it. Maybe their thinking was, if I destroy it and I make it unusable, then they won't be able to take it. Because, I think I've seen that Rob guy in the complex go into the recycling and take stuff out. So I better destroy this computer and make sure that he doesn't access the data on my hard drive. So of course, again, I'm just joking around for the most part, speculating. I don't know why, but you can see clearly, once I managed to turn it around, that there you go. This was purposely done. And there you go. This is exactly as it looked when I pulled it out. And I saw that this was pushed in quite a bit, so I figured there'd be some motherboard damage. But this specifically was like, that's so specific, this damage, that again, I think the person had it in their mind, well, I'm just going to destroy it so it can't be used anymore. Which is fine. I mean, do as you do. But then my thinking was, well, if you did that so the computer wouldn't be usable, thus, saving someone from accessing the data on your hard drive or on your storage, you could have simply pulled the side panel off. This one's off because I took it off, and taken the hard drive out or damaged the hard drive or have, do something like that. But oddly enough, even though you can see the hard drive cage here, I've removed it. This was my doing. The damage, again, the bit of a damage there that you see, was not my doing. So they managed to get to that a bit as well. But oddly enough, the hard drive that was in this was fine. It was a Hitachi 7200 RPM SATA hard drive, which I've removed, and then I hooked it up to some external connectors on my main desktop, and ran some tests, and yeah, everything was intact on the hard drive. So, score, a Hitachi hard drive, 1 terabyte, 7200 RPM, fully intact and working. So I don't know. I'm puzzled by the damage they did to this machine. Again, if their intent was to keep someone from using it, or reusing it, which is kind of odd when you're sticking something in the recycle bin. Or again, if they had just gotten mad because it had failed them for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, I did retrieve the hard drive successfully. And, you know, they're lucky. I'm the kind of person who's not malicious and looking for anything specific. I saw their documents and pictures and things like that. I'll just leave it at that. Nothing illegal on it. So we'll just leave it at that. It has been reformatted. It's now an empty 1 terabyte spare drive that I have for projects or what have you. So other than that, I have to be careful here because there's a lot of sharp edges and it's pretty heavy. You know, these old HP Pavilions. So yeah, I can't bother with the power supply because that's completely damaged, and I wouldn't anyways, most likely. And then looking at the board here, there was 2 sticks of RAM. The processor, the heatsink, was still connected. So I salvaged the CPU, I salvaged the memory, and I salvaged the, as I said, the 1 terabyte SATA hard drive by Hitachi. Also, in this part of it, again, you can see some more damage where they pushed the case in and stuff, but I still removed a recordable DVD-ROM drive. It's not here, I don't have it to show you, but I've put that aside. Again, I checked it on my main desktop with external connectors and it works fine. So again, I'll keep that as a spare. So bear with me here. Here you have one of these audio connectors, some USB ports. Again, focus there. This one is damaged. So, and without the cover to the HP Pavilion, you know, I really don't want this on any other machine. It was specifically designed for that, just as this media card reader was. Looks like you have PCMCIA, SD, your usual connections for media cards. I'll leave that one in there because again, it's not something I need, and it's not much use without the proper cover on it. So this specific model, let's have a look here. Okay, HP Pavilion series, product number, limited warranty 1 year, model number P71044. I may look up the specs and get more details and link that in the description for you. There again you can see more of the external damage done for whatever reasons. Won't be calling that. Yeah, they really, I don't know what they took to it, a hammer, screwdriver, but you know, they pushed it in, did those things to it, so that made the case pretty much useless. But anyways, as for what I did salvage from it, besides the DVD-ROM drive, which again is fine, and the hard drive, I got these items. You know, your stock, I guess, HP Pavilion fan for their specific processor that was in there, which I'm about to get to. Shockingly, looking at it, I was actually surprised to see how clean it was. Like, obviously, that's the old paste on there. But if you look like at the fins and between the fins, there's like hardly any dust or anything on there. So, and the fan itself, not bad at all. Usually, these look a lot worse when you find these old discarded computers. So, not bad. Other than that, just a couple spare cables going from your power supply to supply SATA, tomato. There we go. Yeah. always good to have spare cable. There's another one. And then these ones I actually like because they're SATA cables, but quite short. So it's one of those cases where your SSD is close to your connector on the motherboard. Why use an overly long cable? You don't need to. And these actually seem to be some pretty decent ones. Certainly as good or not better than, cheap cables I might pick up on AliExpress or something like that. So I'd probably use these first before ordering cheap cables. So there you go. And last but not least, the CPU. Now this is interesting because the recent desktop I bought, which yes I still need to do a video on, is a Ryzen 1500X and my first AMD platform. So funny enough, to find this, you want to focus? You're going to focus? No, of course you have to be a pain. This is the first time I've ever had in my possession. Let me focus there. There we go. An AMD Phenom 2. I think this would signify it's from 2009. AMD Phenom 2. And then I may try looking to see if specifically these numbers mean. I don't have much experience with the AMD platform. As I said, I only recently got a Ryzen system, which overall I'm quite pleased with. And yes, I still got to do a video on that. But I never had one of these chips. I want to look it up. If any of you know, I'm sure there's someone in the comments there who would know better what this might compare to in the equivalent Intel. So would this be like the machine I replaced was a Core 2 Dual E6750 processor? Would that be equivalent to that? Better? Worse? I don't know. You tell me. That would be great. The next, there were 2 sticks of RAM. So have a look at that. If I can stop shaking. 4 gigs here. So I thought, hey, that's pretty good. I believe, is this DDR like 3? So you can see the markings there. PC3. 10 or I don't know. You look at these numbers. My old rig that was recently replaced was using DDR2 memory. All I know is that. And my new one, of course, the new Ryzen desktop has DDR4, which is pretty sweet. 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM. But I believe this is DDR2. Unless it's cataloged in a different way. You tell me again. There's 4 gigs. And I was hoping the other stick was also 4 gigs. But unfortunately, no, it's just 2. It's just 2 gigs there. 2 gigs, but they were sitting in the slots, and I removed them, sitting side by side. So a total of 6 gigabytes of RAM. So 6 gigabytes of RAM, an AMD Phenom 2 chip, and, I don't know. Did it have a dedicated card? I suspect it didn't, just judging by the way this person handled disposing of it and all the damage that they did to the case. I don't know. It doesn't scream to me that they took the time to open it up and carefully remove a dedicated video card. I could be wrong on that, of course, as I tend to be on a great many things. But let's see the motherboard. Yeah. Well, see, the motherboard does have VGA and a DVI connector. Again, with my inexperience, would a Phenom 2 chip and the right motherboard allow those connectors to display a basic output? I'm assuming so. I'm assuming that the board has those connectors, it can display from them. So, I don't know. That's it. That's what I got. And first computer-related stuff I've gotten in quite a while. And again, just stuff I keep around as spare. Who knows if it'll ever be used for anything? I don't know. But I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I know this video was crap. I'm just too out of practice. We'll go with that excuse for now. So Rob, MaximumRD out. Let me know what you think of my findings and how that, again, CPU compares what would be Intel equivalent to something like that. I don't know. I have no idea. So I'm new. I'm new to the AMD world. So school me, people. Rob, MaximumRD out. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.